Gail Dorroh, Brook Health Care, along with us today as we talk about our aging parents, especially when you start have to think about in-home care facilities. Now, you got a call a couple of weeks ago from a client about their loved one. What happened?
I did. This client has long distance relationship, the only person in the family that is able to take care of this one particular person. And she was noticing on the phone conversations a decline in cognitive thinking. And so she started becoming concerned. She saw our website, and I don't know if I've mentioned before, but I am a certified dementia practitioner, which essentially means I have been trained and I have ongoing training to help people communicate with the loved ones suffering from dementia. So she asked me to come in and kind of do an assessment and see where we're at with his cognitive abilities and his ability to stay home alone. So I asked her for permission if I could speak to neighbors also, because a lot of times neighbors, they know what's going on a little bit more than the family does. She gave me permission. I came and spoke with her loved one. Wonderful, wonderful man. Could tell there was a little bit of decline there, but he seemed to be on his game pretty well. Went and talked to the neighbors, found out it was a different story. In the evenings, he was acting peculiar, doing things in the yard late at night, where most of us would be doing things in the morning. And so when I got to speaking a little bit further to the neighbors, found out that a couple of weeks beforehand, he had taken his doggie for a walk and knocked on a door 3 doors down and asked the neighbors to help him get home.
Oh, wow.
So when we have wandering that comes into play, that is when we take that very seriously. And so what we decided at the moment was maybe it is time for the family to come visit and kind of get an idea of what's going on. We could put in some home care during those hours, that which is probably a little bit of sundowning going on also, until they were able to find a good memory care facility where they could place the loved one. Eventually, when you're dealing with someone who is sick or who has dementia, it comes down to happy or safe. And even though they're not happy to leave the home, we always have to choose safe.
Y-
And so it came to the point where we had to keep him safe.
Yeah, because you have to pick a happy place to be safe, and sometimes that happens to be a facility.
Right. And they're fully trained on people who wander and people who don't feel like they're supposed to be there. So I actually heard a story where someone had the ability to call a taxi, and she actually called a taxi to come pick her up from a facility
Mm.
and went to the airport to buy a ticket. And luckily, through modern technology, that kind of stopped her right there. And so the family and everybody was able to keep up with her. But they can be smart and tricky. So you've got to have eyes everywhere. You need neighbors, you need caregivers, you need somebody on the ground if a family member cannot be there to keep an eye out.
Yeah, you're talking about neighbors and the importance of having community eyes and ears on that loved one.
Yes, it is very important that you have a neighbor, a church member, a care facility such as Brook Health Care, someone who can go in there and make sure that they are taking their medication, that they do have food to eat, good food to eat that's not spoiled, that they are taking care of the hygiene. So we have a lot of loved ones who are far off, and they call for us to come out there and make sure their loved ones are taken care of. If you cannot afford a facility, there are voucher programs out there that you can use for respite. And if nothing else fails, there's clergy out there who every once in a while will, come knock on the door and make a visit.
Yeah, definitely take that to heart if you can't afford one of those type of facilities. If you want to
Right.
know more about Brook Health Care, you can click on the link that's available right here on this page. We're so glad that you joined us today. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.